Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. It's the 15th of March. Having said that, time passes very, very quickly. We are almost coming to the end of the first quarter. And I have to ask you, how has your portfolio been looking at? Do let me know. If it's doing fine, not fine, let me know. And let's see how we are able to help you at least in the first quarter of the year. If not, at least going to the second quarter of the year, we want you to continue to benefit from the SMARTRobie usage. And any way we can help you to feedback, to help you do, let us know. Do let me know how you are faring on SMARTRobie so far, right? Have you been following the plans, or were you late to execute the plans? What has been your thought? Do let me know. All right. Now let's go to what we have for you in our breakfast show today. Definitely this morning we are at the beginner level, and usually in beginner level we will talk about trading plans. We will also review the trading plan that we did in the past, trade idea that we have, and to get you, many of you who are beginner, up at speed. And those of you who still in the red, yes, I do have some in here. Yes, Honggao, I have from ULC, that's right, thank you. And those of you who are in the red, you need to ask yourself, what have you done right and what have you done wrong, and what were those? And again, going back to the agenda of 2021, do you want to be a trader and investor? So those are very important questions that you want to ask. So far, the portfolio for many of our members and myself still continue in to be the green, and hopefully this year we hope to make more money than we have last year. I think that's always been some of my main goals in here, and we will explore as we go further in our presentation today. All right, let's look at what do we have for you in our roundup. Now, definitely the last Saturday news has been very strong, is the renewable energies. As you can see from in here, one of the talks that we did way back in November, if you all still remember November, right? We talked about the renewable energies, and some of those stocks has since moved up much higher. And as I said before, the news continued to move forward of the LSS4, large scale solar jobs in here, and they will be talking about commencing around 2020 in here. So what it says in here, the Energy Commission has shortlisted, all right, about 20 companies around 323.06 megawatts. And one of those companies in here, definitely the usual one that you've seen before, is Advanced Con, SolarWest, Usmart, and there are a few more in here which is not covered in the list, but I've seen it over on the other paper, the H2. So you will probably see some of these stocks continue to move up. And of course, do go over the full list of winner. This is on the EC2. They are just being shortlisted at all. And I did talk about SL West earlier on. Let's look at SL West in here. And right. So let's look at SL West. Let's look at the news that we have. And on top of that, Solar West to buy inverters from Huawei. That was February 4th, and today is already March 15th. So pretty much they are quite secure of their future going forward. So that's going to be interesting inside in here. And let's go on to what we want to talk next. And it's definitely no other than, before we go further, I just want to look at where is the market this morning in here. The KLCI in here, this morning it's up 7 points. So very important. Let me just switch to a bigger chart in here. You can see on this side of the board, the market is definitely holding up at 1620. You can see in here, no doubt, we had last Friday, let me just pinch this up a bit here, right? We have the 2-bar sell down in here, but it's holding up 1620, and I think it should be fine even that, because one of our member did send me a message saying that will this week we see correction. It's hard to say, but I definitely can tell you we do have a good support at 1620 over there. That's right. So the 1620 there is definitely a good support, and of course we always use the green pentagon. And when it third red pentagon, then we have to be very careful. Maybe we may be third time lucky and this market continue to push up further. It's very hard to say. This got to do with a lot when we talk about the US market. All right. So I hope you all had a good breakfast and are enjoying what we have presented for you this morning in here. Let's move on to our next headline news. It's about rubber glove. That's right. Now, Top Glove, this was also on the 13th of March in here, and a lot has been said. A lot of bloggers out there are saying that, why are the rubber glove are doing so bad? Let's take a look at where is Top Glove in here. So hit that one, and you can see Top Glove going back to the chart wise. A lot of people are just waiting. They say, Martin, when is the green pentagon going to turn for Top Glove? Just have to wait. All right, just have to wait. No choice. But what's more interesting, I want to share with you this piece of news. If you look on the left-hand side, is the human analyst fair value. They have a new target price that you can see there. Maybank 485, Affin 665, all the way to UOB Kay Hiang 760 and Public Invest 760. But I just want to show you, very interesting, when I was checking this morning, whether SMARTRobie is as smart as our human counterpart. And let's look at stock fundamental in there. And you can see they even have here very quickly, just on top of my head here, you could see target price 7.13 cents at a PE of 8.5 times with a potential of 37% in here. Intrinsic value, actually is Robie calculated $81. That's right. Compared to the closing price last Friday was $5.20. Let's look at where is Top Glove this morning. Did it make a bit of upward movement? No, it's still stuck there. Right, and this actually got to do a lot. Those of you who came last Saturday, and I hope you all enjoyed the last Saturday fundamental. We did talk a lot about smart money. Again and again, as I said before, it's important that you learn about smart money. Smart money is something that people don't talk about it. As I said before, also on Saturday, what Ray Dalio say. The problem with a lot of people can't make money because they follow instruction. Now, it's important that you do what is necessary, right? Learning from the market and learning from our experiences there, and definitely to enhance your education through our software and our so-called coaching and mentoring program for some of you who are interested. Coming along in here. But having said that, that is what it is today. Top Glove has a bit of upside. When it's going to move up, then we just have to wait for this chart, as you can just on top of me here, to turn green pentagon. When, we don't know. So that's what really one of the benefit to having it here. We don't have to, every day we just check our stocks going forward. All right, let's move on to our next news. Okay, our next news is property. Now, we all know property sector is very hot, right? All you have to do is just type sector analysis and you're able to see those charts. Property is definitely in number one right now in here. And Lagenda. Okay, Lagenda is benefiting from affordable housing in Perak. This news talks about a new property development, low cost, affordable, price range between 150,000 ringgit to 200,000 ringgit. And that's wonderful, isn't it? I mean, can you get a house these days in Klang Valley? No way, isn't it? All right, 150, 200,000. The houses near my house here are all in million, really, because where I'm living here in close to Bandar Utama and Tropicana. So this is where the property continue to move up in the new scale. So definitely Lagenda has a place among many of the affordable houses. Let's look at Lagenda this morning and looking at the chart here. Okay, hit that one. And you can see, let's look at the stock chart. So much for that one. So Lagenda, switching to a wider chart here, you can see it's looking, and this is pretty much what I want to say about Top Glove. It's something like this, which will turn green pentagon a lot. You have the classic Wyckoff spring there, which is SP, and also have takeout of the uptrust. Now remember, those are the trade setup that I always continue to talk about and discuss a lot in our masterclass. For those of our existing member who have been through with us, you probably know what I mean in here. But you can see, as soon as it's turned red pentagon, you will be out and not felt the big grunt of at least out halfly in here. But over on the left hand side, you could see around 120 going up. That's always good to have a profit target going found in there. All right, so let's go on to the next section where we have for you here. Okay, switching to a wider chart here is RHB Bank. Now, very interesting, over the weekend, I've listened to one of the big innovators in US, and they're talking about one of the biggest currently threat to banking is digital banks. So what does it mean? It means financial institutions are fighting very hard. We heard about the news in Walmart, right, are going to the banks. They hire 2 top senior executives from Goldman Sachs to come in and really transform the digital experience for a lot of the Walmart users. And very similarly now, we can see RHB is noticing this threat and they are continue to enhance themselves, digital journal intensified in here. And I think many of the banks eventually will also call on it. But having said that, the younger generation, which is your children in here, will probably do banking very different from me and you. We are still, maybe some of you still goes to the bank and queue up and do a lot of bank transactions, but many of them may not even need to walk into the bank. They say bank is just like another account which is on their handphone. So this news talk about how RHB is trying to transform themselves. Let's look at RHB right now with the banking that they has in here. Now do take note, the bank side still considered much as a value sector. Having said that, and let's look at the chart, switching wider here, right? So you can see the banks are pretty much caught in a sideways market. It did have green pentagon and it did pops up, but it's still holding up in here. But do take note, you can see the volume which is going down on the left hand side here is definitely diminishing. That also tell you this morning I believe RHB is just down 2 in here. That tells you the demand for this kind of institution has lessened, and also in sync what I just mentioned, which is the development that we see also in US, where many banks are becoming more digital. The question is, because they have grown such a big size, now can they downsize? Of course, there are others also from Singapore and also other countries. Japan are coming in, Malaysia, and trying to apply for the digital license. It's yet to be seen how is this going to pan out in our digital landscape for us. But for us, many of the users, this will definitely be good. And as I said before, it's important for you to really look at this because these are the sector for growth. All right, having said that, let's move on to what I have for you in our next story. Now, next story is about, again, PPE, the old rubber glove, right? And the vaccine rollout has been coming in. I think many of you would have seen that before. So some of the earlier company way back last year, maybe September and August, all got into this big bandwagon because of the margin that is seen by the traditional 4 Top Glove, Kosan, Hatta, Lega, and Supermax. The kind of margin many of the smaller scale are going to PPE gloves and face masks. And right now you can see Iconic. Let's take a look at Iconic this morning here. All right, Iconic, and right now you can see stock comment in here. The chart continued to hit down and down and down, right almost at 45 cents. No doubt there are a lot of potential, as I said before, just like Topgolf early on in here. But we as trained trader and trained investor, we need to look at the technicals, and definitely Pentagon Guider will be the first to notify us when this market is ready to go upwards. So that is how we want to use it in here. And having said that, this is something many of you may want to consider, but let's look at the fundamental just for fun's sake. Okay, look at the stock fundamentals in here, and you can see this one has NA. Used to call Sun Boomi, now I know. Sorry, you can see there ROE is 6%. Remember, we talked about this last Saturday on the fundamental. I hope some of you had enjoyed that. And sector average about 11%. PE is not that expensive. Having said that, that's pretty good in here, but it's a very, very small cap. Just market cap about 196 million. Very, very small, and generally are subjected to a lot of volatility in the market in here. Definitely, SMARTRobie here does rate this as overvalue. All right, just take note of that one. And we talk about those on Saturday about the calculation of the intrinsic value. Okay, let's move on to our next news that we have for you here. Now we are moving to the US market. That's right. Now in the US market, Wall Street continued to focus this week on the US rates. Now, having said that, a lot has been said about the market of the yield, the bond yield, which is the interest rate, has moved up so steep, and that causes a big correction in the sell down. So now they're waiting whether the Jerome Powell, the US FOMC, are going to do some sort of asset purchase. What does it mean? If they start buying asset purchase, that means bond price will go up, interest rate will go on, because bond price and interest rate, they go inversely. Do take note on that one. So by that, when they control that interest rate coming down, you can see the tech sectors sell down will be over, and you see the sectors going up there. And that's also happening a lot in the also the greenfield space, because there are talks now about another 2 to 3 trillion will be injected into the US economy because of the green energy, due to create more stimulus in there. As such, the fiat currency, which is the US dollar, continue to be threatened, and that's why we see Bitcoin, which could be a form of a new currency, the digital currency. Again, going back to something I've talked about earlier, why the younger generation in here don't believe the gold and so forth. When what do you think? Do you think Bitcoin will have a place in going forward as more and more currency is being printed like nobody's business? Just like in US, we have the 1.9 trillion COVID stimulus, and then another 2 trillion coming for the green energy deal that we see in here. Definitely Bitcoin hitting 60,000 to many of you, which I explained before, it's no big deal. But this coming Saturday, do join us for our 1-day course. Okay, let me just switch to a bigger chart. You can see here on 20th of March from 10, we will talk about Bitcoin valuation. And those of you who intend to protect yourself, protect your portfolio, definitely we have a place on the Bitcoin balance show. Make sure you get it. And guess what? It's only 800 credit and it's almost free, because why? You can actually share, right, SMARTRobie with two friends. When they download your referral code and use it, then they get 800, and you will get 800 credit, and that's one of the great. So this offer will go all the way to 31st of March. All right, let's move on to the next area we talk about, and also a refresh of all our Pentagon guide. And many of you who are first time maybe want to see that. And some of these stocks, like technology stock, has moved up a fair bit, but they are sort of been taken out by others, like press metal continue to make new high, hitting $10.20. And guess what? That was one of the stocks when it first made Pentagon Guider way back on the 30th of March. That's right. SL West continue to hit higher, right? Just as we were talking about the LSS4 right in here, and that's continued to go up to 43%. I think eventually you will take out the old high in here. Syntex is still moving aside. Dufu, Pekka, I think is going up. Let's look at the Pekka. I think Pekka is also hitting up high too, as I check in here. Let me just bring this up. Yes, that's right. Pekka was picked up. This is Pekka this morning in here. If I need to update this, Pekka is 49.9%. You can see last week, and you hit that one. That's around 70%, so I better update that too. 70.3%. That's how I update that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, sorry. Let me just go back that again. And so that's how we want to share with you that some of the picks that we do are real life. And it's no surprise it becomes one of the Pekka is, what was that again? Going back to 70.3%. We picked that live in front of you, okay? 70.3%. Now, the question has always been, did you follow the plan? That's right. Did you let the profit run? Did you have a system, right? Which we always talk about in here, all right? So you can see already updated item number 6, Pekka, 70.3 over in here. And also MPI, we pick it out 11 January, JHM, UWC, and more recent one is UMW, 1st of March. Of course, not all the trades that we pick up are moved, but they have so moved consistently and pick up too. All right, let's look at some of the lesson learned right now for those who work well and those who don't work well. The one that work well, we have seen it before. Pekka, right? It's about 70%. Let's look at some of the stocks which we had just 1 or 2 weeks ago. Latitude 3, which we talked about it, is down 8%. UMW is up 10%. And Axiata, those stocks, 1st of March. Now, you definitely can see a lot of the what we call about Pentagon guided stocks that you buy. Initially, they don't move. It'll take a bit of time. But as they start to move up, you see the blue trend zone, the consistently uptrend, like what we saw Pekka, press metal, and that's the one's going to make you money in here. So I hope you all learned that one too in here. Okay, we got some of you already put in the stocks. Again, those of you who do know, there is a so-called a little bit of small rule. Now, please go over to SMARTRobie in the feedback there of the apps or in here. If you review that, I will get into your in here. We have some members already for the audience has already sort of turned on to that. So we have this. Yes, Mr. Young, I still remember you, and also Lee Mayfen last week. I also review. So some of you do go over there and review that because I will get to get in here. All right. So let's look at what I have also here. That's right. Okay, good. Okay. So let's look at the first one called Latitude 3. Of course, I'm going to bring out the trading plan that I did last week. Trading plan. Okay, this is trading plan last week. Okay, let's also take out the trading plan last week. Okay, bring up in here. This is Latitude 3. All right. Oh, this is Latitude Consolidation. LATET. UD. Now, those of you who are looking to get trading view, like what you see inside here, you might want to subscribe and upgrade your subscription to a real-time tab so you can see more things and learn more things. All right, I think that's always been one of our main goal is to get you the right tool. So you can see in here, last week we were at 8th of March. Okay, bring this 8th of March so you can show. Put you side by side here. So 8th of March, then switching it to hourly chart, you can see. So again, going back to what we talk about, train trader and train investor. Look at the tools that you have, right? Do you have adequate tools? Right now, if you're going to be in this market, just like many of engineers as well as doctors, without having the right equipment, maybe an issue in here. So SMARTRobie, having said that, is only updated at 9. So you may have the good enough as a guide, but of course, having a real-time tools like this would definitely get you in the right tools. And many of the win that you make, just like I talked before, Pekka, investing $5,000 on Pekka with 70% return, how much is that? If you get it right and following the plan, that would be a 3,500 return, right? And how much would that be if you make a mistake and lost more than that? So sometimes I always say, many of you who don't have an agenda will tend to be what we call penny foolish pound, because trying to save money here and there and not able to capitalize on those great trends that we talk about. The market's going to be here. The question is, are you awakened to take that opportunity right now? So let's look at Latitude 3 as we talk about in here, which is the 5th of March. Let me see. 5th of March. No, 8th of March. This is where we in here 10 o'clock. Okay, so 10 o'clock weekly was test to the downside, followed by a spring. We did see a spring earlier on, but there was a breakout or upthrust of a weakness. Let's switch to a daily chart here. Switch to a daily chart. This is where we take out this daily chart. But guess what? As we talk about in here, there was a breakout of upthrust. A breakout of upthrust for this bar on that day. 10 o'clock. Remember 8th of March, those of you who came, right? But it took out. But guess what? It formed another upthrust at the end of the day. And that's why the market actually come down. Now, we do take note. Upthrust is one of the sign of weakness. And because of that, you can see the market reverse. Even you see upthrust hit the market reverse. So reverse is going back to the base level in here. You can see triggered. There is price level in here. Broken 1st of March. All high. There's another one, $4.70. Latitude 3, $4.70. I think this was adjusted, if not mistaken, in here because we did this only on last week. You can see this one is adjusted right now in here. Price to enter 463, right? And we have a stop loss 380 in here. So all this will be adjusted. All right, because our trading plan, we need to adjust this too. All right, do take note of it. Let's move on to our next trade here is UMW. All right, let's look at UMW here. UMW. So you can see UMW has made a nice high. And let's look at the plan that I have last week on UMW, which is the 1st of March here. All right, 1st of March and up 10.88%. This is where we actually first look at it. Price to enter was 315. Okay, 315 now is about 340. All right, and we have a stop loss 282. So okay, we'll continue move up. So profit target 351. Are we there yet? Okay, 351. Let's see. Let's take out this one here. 351. What is the high? 350. We are just very short. So you come to a point, you can do what? You can take partial profit if you hit 351 or red pentagon in here. And guess what? We need to hold this trade for 2 months. And how many days was that? We sort of came in on Bila. 1st of March, isn't it? So 1st of March, okay, somewhere around here. Yeah, that's 1st of March. All right, 1st of March. Oh, actually, we actually made more. Am I correct? Because we came in 1st of March. And we look at the price level, switching it to an hourly chart in here. That's why it's so great to be able to see the intraday in here. Just imagine you have this. You can see so far away and able to have the visibility and the safety of the green pentagon supporting it. Just think about the real benefit, and many of our members who have it has done pretty well with that. So let's look at the 1st of March here. You can see 315 was, this is the level, right? You can see in here, then the market just move straight up to where we are. Yeah, about 10%, 10.8%, depending if you go up to here, that's about 11%. So we're going to get there. All right, UMW for that one. Of course, not all. Let's look at another one. Another example in here. Axiata. Okay, Axiata, which we also talk about this trade idea on 1st of March. Okay, Axiata. So Axiata was 1st of March. This is the hourly chart here. You can see the 1st of March in the afternoon in here. And as soon as we got in, let's switch to a daily chart first. Just show you a daily chart here. Okay, so 1st of March will be this bar here. Remember, it turned green pentagon early on, but there were no red pentagon. So the market, you continue to run it. So that's why it's important to learn to read the bar by bar by bar. Have you been guided well enough to read the bar by bar in here? So this was why do follow my senior trainer Zac every night, Monday, Tuesday and Friday, where he will teach about VSA, volume spread analysis, and that's what it's all about. All the signal that you see in here are volume spread. And also very important, you have upthrust. The takeout of the upthrust that denote the trend is very, very powerful, like what we saw early on for the chart that we've seen inside here. Every time when we take out of the upthrust, just like we saw the first one, latitude 3 was powerful, it go high. But guess what? It formed another upthrust. So it's important for you to understand the technical sides of it. Then you're able to write the profit. Hey, you might get another pack up, another 70%. Now, how many of you want a 70% return for that one, able to run your profit? Just type inside there. If you want to, just type, yes, run profit. Just type inside there, so at least I will know that you guys are running your profits, okay? Okay, so this is Axiata. That's great. Okay, good. So let's turn on our attention to our next stock pick. Okay, our next stock pick here, definitely no other than, ta-da, drum roll please. Okay, for our Pentagon Guider, you can go to Robie chart here. I just want to show you here, right? Pentagon Guider. We have so many, IOI Corp and CBIP. I picked IOI property is because the property sector is hot. Just type sector analysis, you're able to see that one, and that's why it's hot. IOI property is Pentagon. So CBIP is also industry, which is also quite hot, and that's why it's 120 in here. Let's look at the chart that we have so far, okay? So I'm going to do the trading plan for IOI Corp, okay? IOIPG. So I'm going to do this, and you can do it together with me too, all right? You can see we got an upthrust right now. So we need, if the market was going to go higher, it's going to take up the upthrust at 145. Let's take a look at the plan today. We're going to do this, okay? Okay. So we can buy the property sector is recovering from the economic stimulus, and property sector is the strongest now. Okay, let's look at the weekly chart. Let's switch to a weekly chart in here. Okay, we have NS. That's the one thing. Take note, NS very powerful. Okay, so we have weekly NS. Weekly NS chart denote more upside to come. Okay, NS, that's very powerful. You can see the market from the green pentagon was around what, 96 cents, okay? And now it has a pullback. So switching back to a daily chart here, okay? Daily chart. Okay, we have what else? What else is there? We have a green pentagon and blue trend zone. Let's talk about what do you think of the weekly? Okay, what about the volume? Okay, volume up is moving up. Okay, okay, volume up with price up. That's very good. You can see, right? This volume here, you can see this volume was good. And this is just today. So price is up. So this is looking very good. Okay. Indicator SMARTRobie. Okay, we can put in and say, if you had gone in somewhere around here, okay, the green pentagon, so which is $1.40. So what day did it turn? It turned, okay, green pentagon on 9th of March. Okay. A good price to enter was the opening of next day, which is 140 at 140. Okay, so let's talk about the resistance, the old resistance. Okay, important price level 1 will be here, 160. Okay, price resistance at 1605. And what date was that? Okay, 8th of February. Now, how many of you are typing this or following this, are actually doing this? Now, consider this as your training, because you keep watching and keep watching. If you don't do the work, where is what we talk about, the agenda to be a trained trader and a trained investor? How many of you are doing it? You are doing it, just tell me. I'm typing this also. I'm creating this trading plan chart too. All right. If you are, just type it in there. All right. Price to enter. Price to enter will be now lah, huh? 142. 142. Okay. What about the stop loss? Okay, so stop loss, you can see here for IOI Corp, stop loss is 133 or 122. All right, you can see there, right? Just on top of me here. IOI Corp, item number 7. Okay, SL 133 and 122. Okay, 133 or 122. Okay, target profit. Target profit, I have. I usually take the high one, $1.60 lah. Okay, $1.60. Target profit is how much? 1595. Okay, 1595 or red pentagon. And how long is the holding period? Okay, let's look at the holding period. If you want holding period, we can look at the trading plan for, okay, we hit the IOI property. And we look at the trading plan here. Okay, it is about 2 weeks to 2 months. Okay, holding period 2 weeks to 2 months. Now, someone did ask me about what is holding period. Holding period, how long you want to hold the trade for? That's all. It's so simple, isn't it? Right? It's just that some of these may be new language to you, and that's why you could not understand it. All right? Okay, trading plan. Okay, 2 months. So which means 2 months. That's the longest we're gonna be holding. So now it's March. And now we're going to be 15th of July 2021. That will be the last date, right? So that's why we always say before, the continuing guidance and coaching is very important. All right, and that's what we want to do in many of our coaching and mentoring program that we've been talking about a lot in here. All right, so let's save this, because if the market were to move up next week, just like UMW, Axiata, of course, not all of them move, and Latitude 3, right? Of course, the difference between is how you read your charts, how you're able to read your chart. Just like I've picked many stocks, those early on you have seen, right? Press Metal, JHM, JF Tech, Pekka, those are done very well in here. Now you need to ask yourself, what have your picks been? What have your trade idea been? And how does it compare? And whether you need more assistance to become a trained trader and a trained investor. I think that's one of the questions we continue to ask ourselves in here. Okay? So that's good. So we're going to just take this away. We've done and saved our template here, IOIPG. All right? So we're going to come back and look at that. There's another one is CBIP. Okay, let's look at CBIP. We pick 2 stocks. CBIP. CB, let me take a look at this again. CBIP, okay, CBIP. CB Industrial Product in here. This one again hits a new high, green pentagon in here. Very nicely done. And we probably enter right now. And let's see next week whether he will pop, fly or not. I hope it fly, then everybody is happy and make money. That's right. Okay, this one next is... okay, let's look at the next one here. And what we have for you is our portfolio return. That's right. Now again, I keep flashing this every week because of the importance of having your portfolio to give you returns. Like last month when we did our simulation in here, we have a portfolio return, simulated portfolio return trading strategy about 106%. That's what I keep asking when you first started off in here, how your return has been. Is some of you negative, and why do you continue to suffer when you could have done better? Correct, isn't it? So the question is sometimes subconscious behind us is that maybe too busy to learn anything, or maybe I'm afraid. I think many of time it's really the fear of taking forward to formalize your education, right? And many of our members who follow this in our SMARTRobie portfolio in here, right? So far we are up 7%. For the returns that we have, which in the last 2 months coming to March inside here. We still haven't closed the trade yet. Like just now you saw that IOIPG in here. We do hold our trades longer, 3 months, which is different from the SMARTRobie in here. And there is something we will talk about this weekend. So make sure you catch me this weekend on the value growth investing with a Bitcoin valuation. That's right. So that's a pretty good return so far. We had this is 7.6% in here, and it's good, better than banks, isn't it? Better than EPF2. All right, let's move on to this is what we talked about earlier on, the sign of strength inside here. And also don't forget to watch the Trade VSA tutorial. Those of you who want to have a refresher, this is definitely the QR code in here. And this Wednesday, that's right, this Wednesday, there would not be any public talk because, as I said before, those of you who have registered for the masterclass, I congratulate you all because I want to take you to the next level. That's right, take you to the next level. That's why we are doing a masterclass revision on the 17th of March. That's right. So make sure you join me on 7th. Those of you who are listening and our member, and those of you who are thinking about masterclass, definitely there's one coming up on the 9th, 10th, just before Hari Raya. Now, can you imagine if you have joined this in our next April class? Right, then you're able to continue your learning for the next 12 to 15 months in here, guided by myself and my team in here, and we'll be doing the regular masterclass rather than a one-off things that we do today may not be sufficient. As I said before, going back to your agenda, a trained trader and a trained investor. How much and how would you want to improve yourself? And is money and time really the key challenge in here? Right. I think many of the time people tend to think differently. They are very busy in their life in here, and definitely having guidance would definitely help you a lot. Just like how SMARTRobie would have guided you in here. So for this coming Wednesday in here, I'll see you guys. All right. And of course, our April intake, it's open for registration. As I said before in here, we still have some seats left in here to follow us, and you will definitely know this coming Wednesday whether it is worthwhile. And also we'll be covering a lot of the US side as well as the Malaysian side inside, so that way you're able to build a very good portfolio, and also think about a way to do free trading, free commission trading in US market, something I also talk about that too in here. All right. And last but not least, before we end here, the sharing of the credit, 400 credit, will definitely get you up to our next workshop, which is this coming one-day workshop that we'll be doing the 18th of 20th of March. Closing date will be 18th, so make sure you register that and purchase by using the credit that you have, 800 credit in here. So now we'll come to the stock review side, and definitely there's a question here, what kind of revision? We are revising our masterclass because we have we have many section US market pullback, so we are revising that in here. All right. So do take note. Those of you who've been following me there, you continue to see me keep flashing in here. It's just that, do I want to commit myself to a formal education in there? All right. Let's look at the stocks now in here. Special thank you to LC Cook. he is Hongel LC, so he will get the first review in here. As I said before, from last Friday, those of you who want me to look at your stock review, definitely go over to Google Play Store or Apple Play Store and review back. Also in the Facebook, you will get the first preference in here. All right. So Hongel will have tech bond. He asked for tech bond here. Okay. So let's take a look at the tech bond right now. Tech bond. He has tech bond and so tech bond group. All right. Very nicely done. Quite nice one in here. You got green pentagon in here. All the way. Go. All right. Next one is Wong Engineering. Okay, you have now again, depending where you come in, you have already red pentagon. Again, this one not yet confirmed. We still have to wait for the end of the day, right? For Wong Engineering in here. Having said that, you got two upthrusts. As I said before, we have seen the upthrust side effect from the Latitude 3, also from UMW, and also just now CBIP. If this upthrust is confirmed, then you might want to take some partial profit and move on. All right. So those are Hongel 2 trades in here. Thank you again. And anyone who just gone into the Google Play Store and give us a review, I'll definitely look at your review in here. So I want to be fair. All right. In here, let me see. Okay. Okay. We have also Mr. Yang. Right, he put in last week, and also Lee Mei Feng. Okay, Mr. Yang Cheng Sin, Ran Hill. Definitely, we will look at Ran Hill. Ran Hill Utilities, very nicely done this one. Breakout, nice pullback, let it go. Okay, follow a smart trading plan. And there are a couple of new trades that actually we have shown in our master class. Okay, Mr. Yang, you might want to consider upgrading and come on to our master class and learn this technique of buying at pullback. Okay, so for our members, one of our members is Miss Lee Mei Fen. Okay, Lee Mei Fen, which is ILB. Now, ILB this morning has broke down 9% down in here. That's not good. I have to say before, that's not good. If we break through the ATR stop loss, we need to exit. All right. Having said that, there is certainly some news coming out here that this market broke through this level in here. Do take note. This is not good. So but what I can also say that it is holding up at this level. Very likely this market is not ready to go up yet. It did break down. You can see this morning break down 9%. There probably some news in here not ready to go up yet. All right, just take note of it. You can see this upthrust that was built. It should be able to take out the upthrust at 68 cents, but right now just be very cautious to ready to exit out. All right. Okay, let's see who else we have here. Okay, I'm just looking for some of our members in here, and also from some of our reviewer from our Facebook and also from our Google Play Store. Okay. All right, we also have one of our member in here looking at MYEG. Now, MYEG looks like it's still holding up as a base there. You got this again, another upthrust, another weakness coming in here. Markets look like it's going to move sideways, but the alert is already here. It already red pentagon, and you can see the market actually went through this double top inside here. You got upthrust, that also tells you weakness is coming soon, right? If it does break through the ATR stop loss, I recommend to exit too. All right, that is the trade with MYEG. That's right. Okay. So that's all I will have for today. As I said before, if you want me to review your stock pick, do go over to the Facebook in here. That's all I have. And don't forget to join me this weekend, for the one-day workshop on value growth investing. So sign up for that. And those of you who are first time, do share this Telegram chat QR code so you can get more information, more news update, and also educational material to help you to grow your money and trading for the remaining 21. So thank you for coming. I'll see you this Wednesday for the next breakfast show. Bye-bye.